Hi, this is Zubin Vevaina from A to Z Graphology and welcome to today's video. In this one, I'm going to be explaining to you about the letter P. The letter P looks like an inverted letter B. A couple of videos ago, when I had explained to you about the letter B, we saw how the mind represents itself on the piece of paper in terms of self-knowledge or self-use of knowledge. Similarly, how the body uses its strength for its own activities or for its own purposes can be seen in the letter P. Yes, the properties of this also sound very similar to the letter J, but how is the letter P different from the letter B and J, and also how we are going to represent our mind on the piece of paper only by letter P will be seen in the video to come. So let's change perspective and have a closer look at how the letter P can give us an advantage over our own physical strength, and let's have a closer look at the structure and its different properties. The letter P has got two different formations in its structure, one being the vertical line and the other being the semicircle or the curve. There are two ways to write the basic letter formation of letter P, and I'll draw it to you so you can see how it's made. First of all, there is one option where the person writes a line and goes back on the same line as a retrace and then comes out. Another option is where he can draw the line, lift up the pen, and then draw the semicircle. The difference between this formation and this is that whenever the person uses his physical strength and energy for his own activities, he is going to do it out of experience, and this person will do it out of intuitive creativity. As I mentioned in the introduction, the letter J and the letter P have got similar properties in terms of physical strength being used for self related activities. But why is the letter J and the letter P structurally different? What is the difference between these two letters, and why do they represent the same thought in slightly different manners? If we go into a deeper understanding of these letter formations, you will understand that the letter J represents those activities that are done at a conscious, voluntary level, whereas the letter P involves both conscious, voluntary level and also involuntary level. So let's take an example. While you're running somewhere or you're walking somewhere, the letter J and the letter P are both activated. Both the properties are being expressed while you're walking. But let's say if there's a wild dog trying to run after you. Now, in that moment, the adrenaline rush that you get, the blood starts to pump in and the heartbeat starts to race. You get a bit scared, and your body internally responds to the threat. Now, this response, this involuntary activities that are happening inside the body, that can be seen in the letter P. So, the activity of running away from that wild dog is involved with letter J and letter P, but the letter J only takes care of the physical voluntary activity of you actually moving your legs, whereas the letter P takes care of the letter J properties and also of the involuntary activities. So, whenever you are having a sports event or if you're having some form of a physical training exercise and you are able to do the exercise but your body is not supporting it, you're not getting that energetic push from within, that could lead to a different structure in the J compared to the letter P and the letter P compared to the letter J. So let's go a little deeper and understand how these different properties can be matched in terms of P, and how we can later on match the letter B, J and P. So I will first of all explain to you there's two ways of writing the letter P at the basic formation, like a retraced formation or a segmented formation. So whenever a person has such a formation, whether it's segmented or retraced, but both the points are closed, it's not open, this means that the person's internal physical strength is well tuned and he is able to access this energy quite well. Those people who have hormone problems, those people who have uh, kidney issues or pancreatic issues, the endocrine glands, if they don't secrete the correct hormones and if you're not able to get the correct bile juices, whatever is required for the internal processes, if these things are not working fine, then there'll be some sort of a problem in the letter P formation. Now here what's happening is, because the P letter is very clean and well made, it is representing good health of internal body organs. Whenever a person writes a P which is retraced but it's got a loop, this shows that the person's exercise is starting to make his internal organs a bit more healthy. Now remember, it does not mean that the person who is having a retraced letter P is not having a healthier body. It's just that these people can run out of energy a bit quicker than these people. Now, of course, there are some handwritings which represent this letter P in a slightly exaggerated manner, where the person writes like this. Now, this is too much. This is exaggerated, where the loop is too huge and the P is almost malformed. Any form of stroke or curve or any part of the handwriting that is exaggerated, it just masks the effect of the letter rather than enhancing it. So this is a healthy loop which shows that this person's exercise or diet or whatever his lifestyle is somehow promoting improvement of health in his body. Now the problem is that if this letter P has a sharp point below, like this. Now if the letter P has got a sharp point below, this means that this person's activities or exercise or whatever he's trying to do, his diet, his nutrition, or his lifestyle, it is causing more of a stress rather than an improvement. So if you are using a letter P in the handwriting and if it's going to go up without lifting the pen, like this segmented one, if you're going to do a retrace, it has a slightly better advantage to this, because here what's happening is you don't have the sharp angle coming up, it's just a retrace. You're having a lifestyle, you're having a diet plan or a physical exercise based on what you have learned or you've been taught. Over here there's a slight creativity in what you're doing and there's a difference in the internal organs and it represents an improvement in strength. However, if you have a sharp point over here at the bottom, this shows stress is there in these activities and it may not give as much fruitful results as these two. The letter P can have some sort of anomalies in its structure, and these anomalies represent a disturbance in the mindset. Whenever the P is open from top, it shows that whatever physical exercise or the physical activity this person is doing, the body internally is not able to relate to it at the start of the whole activity. Over here, at the end of the activity, the body is not able to calm down or cool down. Over here, the body has overdone the internal processes. Now, let me explain to you these three with an example. We'll take the example of walking along the road and you suddenly see a stray wild dog chasing after you. At the moment of looking at the dog, the whole body starts to respond. The adrenaline kicks in, the body's muscles become ready, your digestion slows down. There are so many processes that happen in terms of emergency. Now, what happens with these people or this mindset is that somehow some organs in the body are not corresponding correctly. So, even though the person wants to run away and he really wants to give that push, in the initial phases, he may stumble, his body may get a sudden pull in the leg, there may be a sudden catch in the muscle. all sorts of problems start up at the beginning of the moment. Yes, later on the body does catch up and he is able to uh, respond to the situation. Over here, however, the person saw the dog and his body did respond, but he did not get the full adrenaline push that it was required, or his body's digestion did not get completely slowed down, and there's some sort of a problem happening where after the activity is finished, he is having an energy loss. This normally happens when if you suddenly run somewhere or you suddenly had a strenuous exercise, the muscles in the stomach area start to ache, or your body gets a catch after the activity is done. Here, before the activity is started or the adrenaline push has been given from internal source of the body, the problem has started, and over here at the end of the activity. Over here, however, let's say you have run away from the dog and you're now away from danger, but yet your heart is not able to slow down quickly. Your body is still feeling heated and really sweaty, and there's internal processes that are not slowing down even if you've calmed down for some time. Now, if you're a medical doctor or you're good at body anatomy, if you're a gym trainer, you should analyze people's handwritings who come to you and see whether these differences in the letter P structure can be observed in the handwriting and whether it matches the symptoms of the problem for which they come to you. The letter P can represent physical activities at a voluntary and the involuntary. The voluntary is the line and the involuntary is the curve. Both these in combination in a healthy formation can be extremely advantageous. It can make the person very sporty. But if it is having some sort of an anomaly, an odd structure, then it causes the problem internally. Now, what about these two structures? What I've emphasized here is the width of the loop or the semicircle. The width is thinner, and over here the width is quite prominently fat. This means that the person's internal body organs are not really as responsive as they should be. The health is not as strong and it's almost lethargic. So whenever they want to suddenly run for away from danger or they suddenly required to do some strenuous activity, the body can have some energy but it won't last for too long. These people, the ones which have the fatter P loop, the P semicircle, their energy is slightly more, but it can get wasted since it's too much. It should be in proportion. The proportion of the letter P, if it's maintained, then it shows an adequate response of the body at the voluntary and the involuntary level. Now, there's one more letter structure of the letter P which I would want to explain to you, and this is where the person writes the letter P like this. There's a slight notch on top of the P, and what happens now is that this pushes the letter P into the upper zone. Until now, we had only the middle zone and the lower zone getting involved with the letter P. Now it's the middle zone, the lower zone, and the upper zone getting involved in the structure. So here what's happening is that the person is having some mental ability while his body is processing voluntary and involuntary physical activity. These people can mentally control or mentally be aware of certain physical properties, certain processes in their body, and with practice, they can actually use their mental ability to calm the body quicker. It is a slight advantage, but what happens is that these people are much more quicker and they are able to have their internal body organs responding to stimulus much more quicker than these. Yes, here there's an added advantage of a control, a mental ability over the voluntary and involuntary functions, but these people don't have that control, but they have that advantage of speed. So these are the letter structures of letter P, and I would highly recommend that if you have a doctor in the family or you have a gym instructor, whenever they get people coming towards them, it would be great if they observe some of these structures in the letter formations and how these formations are matching their symptoms. If what I have taught you matches what is seen as a symptom, then the research on this gets deeper and much more certain. Now let's go back to the conclusion of the video and let's compare the letter J, B and P. Alright, so we've just understood what the letter P represents in the handwriting. And if we compare this with the letter B and the letter J, you will be able to understand how the person uses self capabilities, mental capabilities seen in the letter B and physical capabilities seen in the letter P for the self. I'll leave a link up in the corner over here so you can watch the letter B video and this video of letter P and try to see what combination of structure comes in your handwriting. If you have an open B and a closed P, then you'll come to know that the physical activities of yours is doing well, but the mental ability which you use for yourself is not really up to the mark. If you have an open P, like one of these three structures, and a closed B, then it could lead to a loss in physical health or physical energy for the self activities, but the mental ability is fine. So compare these two and see how you can make your lifestyle a bit better. Now coming to the properties of B and P which we have done with the letter J. The letter J shows those activities at a physical level that are done on a voluntary basis. So this movement of my hand is voluntary. If I'm in a situation where I have to defend myself, a self-defense act where my adrenaline gets rushed and my body is really tight and I want to respond to stimulus, then there's an internal process happening that's making my body become slightly more stronger. That is seen in the letter P. So J letter is voluntary, P letter is voluntary plus involuntary functions. With certain researches happening around our team, we've got letter P representing kidney function a bit more stronger. So if you have anybody around you or if you are having somebody who's got kidney issues, do have a letter P in their handwriting and see how it looks. If that P has a different odd structure, just click a picture of it and send it to me. We'll have a database on which we can develop a stronger research and then we can conclude the findings according to what we see in letter P. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, do press the like button, and if you would like to get automatic updates on the videos to come, do subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.